Have you ever heard the story of Medusa? A monster with snakes for hair whose gaze could turn a man to stone. For centuries, she's been a symbol of terror, a villain in a hero's tale. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the monster was actually the victim? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nightforge. Today we're going to peel back the layers of this ancient myth to uncover the tragic truth of a woman betrayed by gods and men. This is the real story of Medusa. Before the snakes, before the stony gaze, Medusa was a mortal woman of breathtaking beauty. She was one of three sisters, the Gorgons, but unlike her immortal siblings, Steno and Euryale, Medusa was human. She lived in Athens and served as a priestess in the temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. Her devotion was absolute, and her life was one of piety and chastity, a vow she had taken in honor of the virgin goddess she served. People traveled from all over just to catch a glimpse of her, especially her magnificent hair, which was said to rival the beauty of the goddess herself. But in the world of Greek mythology, beauty, especially mortal beauty, is often a curse, attracting the unwanted attention of the gods. And Medusa's beauty caught the eye of one of the most powerful and volatile gods of all, Poseidon, the ruler of the sea. Poseidon, known for his relentless and often cruel desires, became obsessed with Medusa. He pursued her relentlessly, but she, bound by her vow of celibacy and her devotion to Athena, rejected his advances time and time again. Her refusal only fueled his desire. One day, seeking refuge from his pursuit, Medusa ran into the one place she believed she would be safe, the sacred temple of Athena. But safety was an illusion. The sea god followed her, and there, on the cold marble floor of Athena's own sanctuary, he violated her. It was a brutal act of sacrilege, a desecration of a holy place, and a devastating betrayal of a faithful priestess. After the assault, a shattered Medusa looked for solace, for justice, from the goddess she had so faithfully served. She prayed to Athena, hoping for protection or at least compassion. But what she received was something else entirely. Athena was enraged, not at Poseidon, her uncle, for his heinous act, but at Medusa. In the goddess's eyes, her temple had been defiled, and it was Medusa, the mortal priestess, who bore the blame. Perhaps it was jealousy of Medusa's beauty, which some said surpassed her own. Perhaps it was the politics of the gods, where blaming a mortal was easier than confronting a powerful deity like Poseidon. Whatever the reason, Athena's judgment was swift and merciless. Instead of justice, Medusa received a curse. Athena transformed her, turning her into the very monster we know today. Her beautiful hair, the feature that had attracted Poseidon's gaze, twisted and writhed into a nest of venomous snakes. Her once lovely face became grotesque and terrifying, and her eyes, which had once held such life and devotion, were cursed to turn any living creature that met her gaze into solid stone. She was stripped of her humanity, her beauty, her voice, and her home. Athena then banished her to a remote, desolate island, to live out her days in monstrous solitude. Her sisters, Steno and Euryale, chose to go with her, their love for their sister overriding their fear of what she had become. Imagine the horror of this transformation. One moment, you are a devout young woman, your life dedicated to a goddess. The next, you are a creature feared and reviled by all. Your very presence is a weapon, your gaze a death sentence. Every reflection would show you the monster you've been forced to become. Every person who sought you out did so not with reverence, but with a sword, seeking glory by taking your head. Medusa was trapped in a living nightmare, punished for a crime committed against her. She was isolated not just physically, but emotionally, unable to look upon another living being without destroying them. The curse was a constant, brutal reminder of her trauma, a permanent mark of Poseidon's lust and Athena's injustice. This is where the story usually picks up, with the hero, Perseus. Sent on an impossible quest by a king who wanted him dead, Perseus was tasked with bringing back the head of Medusa. But Perseus didn't go alone. He was heavily armed with divine gifts from the gods, the very same gods who played a role in Medusa's tragic fate. He received a mirrored shield from Athena, a sickle-like sword from Hermes, winged sandals to fly, and a cap of invisibility from Hades. He was a hero backed by the establishment, sent to kill a woman they had already destroyed. Guided by Athena, Perseus found Medusa's lair. Using the polished shield as a mirror to avoid her direct gaze, he found her sleeping. He didn't face her in a fair fight. He didn't confront a raging monster. He snuck up on a sleeping, tormented woman and, with one swing of his divine sword, he beheaded her. The so-called heroic deed was, in reality, the final, tragic act in a life defined by suffering. But even in death, Medusa's story wasn't over. From her severed neck sprang two beings, her children by Poseidon, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant warrior. She was a mother only in her death. Perseus placed Medusa's head in a special bag and used it as a weapon on his journey home, turning his enemies to stone. He eventually presented the head to Athena, the very goddess who had cursed Medusa in the first place. And what did Athena do? She placed Medusa's head on her own shield, the Aegis, forever using the face of the woman she had wronged as a symbol of her own power. The ultimate irony, Medusa's pain, her curse, her very identity was co-opted and weaponized by her abuser's enabler. Her eternal torment became a tool for the gods. So, who is the monster in the story? Is it Medusa, the woman who was violated and then cursed for it, left to live in monstrous isolation? Or is it Poseidon, the powerful god who took what he wanted without consequence? Or is it Athena, the goddess who punished the victim instead of the perpetrator, her pride and jealousy leading to a terrible injustice? The myth of Medusa has been retold for thousands of years, often as a simple tale of a hero slaying a monster. But when we look closer, it's a deeply unsettling story about power, injustice, and the silencing of victims. Medusa was not born a monster, she was made one. Her story is a powerful reminder of how narratives are shaped by the powerful, and how the voices of the victimized are so often erased from history. She has been reclaimed in modern times as a symbol of female rage, of survival, and of defiance against an unjust system. She represents the turning of a victim's pain into power. Her story forces us to question the tales we've always been told and to look for the humanity behind the monster. It's a tragedy that resonates even today. In a world where victims are still too often blamed and silenced, Medusa's legacy is far more than a head of snakes and a stony gaze. It is the story of a woman who endured the unthinkable and whose silent scream echoes through the ages, asking us to listen, to understand, and to remember her not as a monster but as a victim of divine cruelty who deserved justice. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Medusa myth. If you found this story compelling, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden stories of mythology. Let me know in the comments what you think about Medusa's true story. Until next time.